All right, guys, welcome back to how to make $1,000 per month with digital real estate, A to Z, live with Francesca Ravanelli and myself, Nick Wood. If you guys don't know what digital real estate is and you don't know what rank and rent is, we have a video that we did previous to this. This is part two of a 7 or 8 part series, depending on how this thing kind of shakes out. But real quick, in a nutshell, when we talk about rank and rent digital real estate, we're talking about the business model where you pick a simple niche and city, you build a website, you rank it on Google, and the leads, the phone calls that come off of it, you put together a deal with a business owner and you forward the calls to them. They pay you every month, they pay you every week, however you want to structure it, and you go and live your life and get paid passively. Now, our process, that is the general business model, but our process, we've kind of shaken the cage a bit. We do it backwards. We actually sell the deal first. We pre-sell our deals. We get the contract, the credit card first, and then we build. So we're going to get into all of that in these different videos. But really, really quick, just to give you guys a reason why the heck you should even listen. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Nick Wood. I've been doing this for 8 years. I have done everything in the book wrong that has allowed me to then do everything right. I've lost millions of dollars. We've made millions. And when we say we've made millions, that doesn't mean we've made millions selling a program on how to do it, although we've done that. We have made millions of dollars doing this business model, building simple websites, ranking them and renting them out. And Francesca, the reason I had her on this and I want to have her as part of the series is she was along for the entire ride from when we were barely making it to when we started doing 6 figures per month back in 2020. We haven't looked back since. And we've transitioned since when I was actively involved to now she pretty much runs the entire company. She's the one closing the deals. She's the one prospecting. She's the one dealing with the customers and the whole entire, she oversees every single piece of the puzzle. So I thought it would be fun. That's why we did this series I'm not involved in the sense that I'm not going to help her in any way. I'm literally just asking her to walk us through the process. So if you didn't watch last video, we'll try and link it up in in the description or somewhere on this page so you guys can go watch part one. But in this one, this is part two. We're going to be talking about building your list. So in the first video, we talked about picking the city and the niche. And by the way, as a spoiler alert, the niche is, did we talk about the niche? We just didn't say the city, right?
I don't think we told the
I think we
niche,
told the niche.
did
I
we?
think we did the niche. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we said the niche. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we did. We did. It's concrete. But we ain't telling you the city because we don't want you guys in there swooping around, dilly-dallying around trying to steal our area. Francesca found this area. She messaged me. I told her she was freaking smoking hookah or jamba or devil's lettuce, whatever, because there's no way when she told me the name of this city. And sure enough, I looked at the due diligence and it's a good opportunity. So for those of you that are like concrete saturated, you haven't looked hard enough. Okay. Sometimes you're not seeing what's in front of your face. So we're not going to give you guys the city because some dingle nuts will come and try and swoop it from us. But we're going to tell you the niche and we're going to walk you through the steps. And then we'll tell you the city once we close the deal. No pressure, Francesca, but you better fricking close the deal. And there is a chance, she doesn't close the deal, whatever the case is. And it's still going to be a really valuable content because you guys are going to see what not to do. But seriously, no pressure, Francesca, you better close this deal. Okay, so let's talk about building the list. We're not going to go through exactly how to build the list step by step because that's what we talk about inside of our program. But we are going to give you guys some kind of overall like guidelines and what we do. And I'm just going to kind of ask Francesca. So Francesca, is the list built? Let me just start there.
Yes.
List is built. How many people roughly do we have? Not roughly. How many people do we have on the list?
Let me look.
And by the way, when we say list, these are the people that we're planning on working with. These are people that are potential partners of ours in that area that we're looking at. So how many do we
I
have on our
have
list?
I have 12.
12. Okay. We're not going to give you guys a list, obviously, because you don't know the area. But let's talk about like how did you build this list in the sense of like what criteria determined who went on this list?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat? You cut out the last
Oh,
second.
crap. Sorry. What criteria determined who you put on this list? What are the
Yeah,
boxes
so their business owners or companies are already paying for some kind of marketing, either ads or similar stuff.
Okay. So Paying for ads. That's guys, the reason that we do that, we target people that are already paying for advertising is because why do if you target just any random person, there's two sales that have to take place. Number one, you need to convince them that they need your service. They need to pay for leads. That's a sale. And then you need to convince them that they should use you instead of Home Advisor, instead of Angie's List, instead of whoever. So if we can go and we can talk to people who are already paying for leads, guess what that means? They're already sold on the idea of paying for leads. So we just eliminated half of the problem. Half of the work is done, right? So that's why we do it. So Francesca, curious, out of all the different lead sources that people pay for, who are your favorite people to target?
I know you like Google Ads, but I like Home Advisor.
Okay, tell me why. And what she means by that is people that are already currently paying for Home Advisor. I like when people are paying for Google Ads because it's really easy for me, in my opinion, to like show them that they're getting ripped off because they're paying for clicks, not ads or not leads. So I'm curious your logic. Why do you like Home Advisor people?
Because then I can really push it on the exclusive leads only to you
Okay.
instead of being competitive with someone else and they're already buying leads from someone. Because sometimes Google Ads, they're setting up themselves or they have someone that is doing it and they really like him or whatever. So that's
Yeah.
why. But
So
it's
tell everyone that doesn't know how does it work when you work with Home Advisor? No, we're not going to bad talk Home Advisor, whatever, but like how does it actually work? What do they get? You said something about exclusive. I just want everyone to know that maybe not familiar with what you're talking about.
yeah, so they're doing a similar thing to what we're doing. So they're giving them leads, but the leads are not exclusive to one company, so they do have to compete with each other on getting that specific customer. So
Gotcha.
on top of getting leads, you have to, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. So say they share the leads. They're not exclusive.
Hmm.
And business owners, in your experience, and I don't what's happened in my experience, but did they get frustrated with this?
Yes, and also like I just feel like we really have that advantage. You get that spin-off that you can say, well, by the way, like you can really push it on the exclusivity, and then they're not just paying because they still have to pay for the lead, even if someone else takes it.
Yeah. Basically how it works, at least how I understand how it works, and this could have changed a lot or a little, but they basically sign up. They have like a sign up fee with Home Advisor, and then they pay a certain amount. There's a certain budget, right? And the leads cost different amounts, and I think they're even structured different tiers. And basically, they get charged, and the next guy gets charged, and the next guy gets charged, and it doesn't matter. Like they don't do anything exclusive. They're selling the lead to like a bunch of people. So that's why they can sell the lead. They're like, so sometimes I'll have business owners are like, well, Home Advisors charge me 20 bucks a lead. 10 bucks a lead. You're like, yeah, but they're selling that to 10 people. So that's actually $100 lead and you're competing against 10 people. So it doesn't make any sense, right? So uh, I never talk garbage, and I recommend when you guys call these business owners, do not talk crap on Home Advisor because there are times when it does work because there's not a lot of competition. They don't have to compete against a bunch of people, but it never works to badmouth your competition. But you'll usually just by asking them, and I'll say something like, "Hey, I saw you're paying for Home Advisor, so I know you're not allergic to money or you're hungry to grow. But a lot of people we talk to, they don't like having to share leads. I'm guessing you're in the same boat, like something like that. And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And they'll go ripping into a story. Home Advisor, I had to get on the phone for 2 hours and $20. And you're like, okay, keep going, bro. You know, that kind of thing. So anyway, bottom line is, guys, once we pick the city, we pick the niche, we want to build the list. Now, the other thing is, I guess the question is, why do we build the list before we set up the landing page, which is going to be our next step, setting the landing page and the ads? And for those of you that have no idea what we're talking about, it's all going to make sense. Just wait. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to go build a website that we don't know if it's even going to rank, if it's going to get leads, and wait 4 to 6 months. We're not doing the wheelchair method, that's exactly what it is. That's the freaking grandpa method. Sorry, grandpa. Yeah, RIP to all my grandpas, I think. So yeah, so my grandpa can't be offended, but RIP to any other grandpas. But really, that's the grandpa method, right? So, Francesca, why are we building the list before we go and do anything else? Like, why is that step two?
Yeah, I would say to see if there's even people that are interested in leads before you're going to do all the work. And then second, when the leads start to come through, you already have a list ready to go and
Beautiful.
start sending the leads to.
Perfectly said. Yeah, guys, we don't want to go into an area and do all the work, and then a lead comes in. First of all, we don't know who to call. We don't have the name, we don't have whatever. And guys, if you are trying to call business owners without getting their first name, you are stupid because it's 2024. You can do a little bit of research and you can find basically anybody's name. You got to get creative. And by the way, we have some techniques and some strategies and some I don't want to call them some stalking, but like there's ways to find out anyone's name online, like for the most part, right? And if you're not taking the time to do that, I think that you're really decreasing your chances of getting deals. That's number one. Number two is imagine we go and Francesca finds this really good area. We think she goes and tries to build a list and she finds one person that's even in business in that town. Now I'm not probably not even going to go into that town. I'm going to save myself all the hassle, right? Or maybe there's only three and I got to make the decision. If I go into there and there's only three people, are they going to be fat and happy because there's not really that much competition, right? So the reason why we do things the way that we do in the order that we do is back in 2020. Well, back in 2018 and 19, we did everything wrong, right? We did everything wrong. And so in 2020, we figured everything out and we were testing and we were trying this and trying that. And we used to do what everybody else does, which is build a website, let it rank or hope it ranks, only to find out, oh my gosh, we just built this website and there's leads coming in, but no one wants the leads. Right. And so now we got to pay for this website and the hosting and the tracking number and da 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 da. And it's like 2 years down the road before we ever sell this thing if we do it all. So now we're like, we don't even buy a domain. We don't even start building a website until we have a contract and a credit card in hand. Right. And that's what allowed us to scale. So 2020 was when everything kind of just came together. We figured it out. We still had to do a lot of trial and error. We still lost a lot of money testing. We spent a lot of money on ads, but there's a reason why we do what we do. And we're constantly tweaking, we're constantly testing, we're constantly trying new stuff, we're constantly trying to tweak the ads and test new ad strategies. We're literally doing that right now. We're testing some new ad strategies right now as we speak to then take to those members of our group. So anyway, step number two, build the list. I guess one more question I have for you, Francesca, is what's the minimum number of people you need to have on a list for you to feel confident to keep going in that area?
Oh, I always try to get at least 10, but I don't know what the gold number would be.
Okay. Okay. I would say, depending on your confidence level and depending on how long you've done this, I think 10 is a safe number because if there's 10, you could sell somebody on 10. And by the way, the other thing you got to remember, guys, doesn't mean they like just because they're not paying for ads doesn't mean you can't sell them. We've sold plenty of people who aren't paying for ads. It just means that those are the easiest people to sell. And I learned this principle back when I did door-to-door sales and I was selling home security systems. And pretty quickly I realized, hey, if I just knock on the people who already have signs of different companies, they're already paying 50 bucks a month. I just have to knock on the door, tell them I'll upgrade their system and give them a bunch of free equipment. And all they have to do is change the yard sign and change the service. That's an easy sale. And it takes 20 minutes instead of 2 hours and the emotion and the this and talk to the dog and the wife and pray to Jesus, all this stuff, right? So that's where we learn this principle. You don't have to have people paying for ads. Those are the best ones, in my opinion, to target. Okay. We do have specific strategies. We do have specific targeting methods. We do have specific ways to find names, all that stuff that we cover in more detail. But just to give you guys kind of an idea, this is step number two. You want to build your list. You want to make sure there's at least, I would say that's a safe number, 10 people. Although I will tell you, Francesca, back in the 2020 when we were zinging and slinging and trying to scale up, there were times when there was like 3 to 4 and we were just sending it because we were on fire and we were taking that momentum. And it was like, if there's 3, we're selling one of them. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think if you're starting, you're new, or you're not super confident, make sure there's at least 10. If there's not, you may want to just go ahead and, earmark that for later, come back to it once you get a couple projects, but make sure you have a good amount of business owners that you can call because the first couple, you're going to vomit all over them. You're going to verbally vomit. Francesca, tell them about verbally vomiting. You've done that. You've called and said some of the stupidest stuff. I haven't actually heard you, but I'm guessing.
No, yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure you heard me. That one you recorded. I think I said Hendersonville instead
Yeah.
of Henderson in Vegas or something like that.
Well, the other thing is Francesca, when she used to call, she used to like she'd drive home so she could be in the presence of only her dog, Wrigley, her huge dog. She would get embarrassed. So, and I'm saying this because guys, it's totally normal and it's embarrassing. And the first couple people you call, you're gonna vomit all over them, and that's just what happens. My very first door I knocked, I thought I tried to purposely target a grandma. I looked at like I was looking for yard gnomes and like ugly drapes, whatever. And I knocked on the door, and the equivalent of Dana White came out, big old bald head, jacked, whatever, freaking muscle tee, and basically told me to just pound sand or he was gonna do you know what. So I get it. I vomited all over people. It's what happens. But this is step number 2. Build your list. On the next video, tell them what we're going to be covering on the next video. What's step number 3? Just give them a little teaser of what we're going to cover in step number 3.
We're going to build that one pager.
We're going to build the one pager. We're going to talk about building the one pager. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to cover every single thing in a quick little video, but we're going to tell you guys about building the one pager. And we might even get into the ad section where we're going to actually start making some stuff happen and start getting some leads. So guys, thank you for watching this video. This is part 2 of how to make $1,000 a month with digital real estate, live with Francesca Ravanelli and your boy, Nick Wood. We'll see you guys in the next video.